Smith is suing her former live-in boyfriend, Gerald Ware Jr., for half the cost of a cruise, utility bills, and a loan to hire an attorney.
Order. All rise.
That's case number 354 on the calendar in the matter of Smith versus Ware.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat, please.
Ms. Smith, you and the defendant dated for a period of time and signed a 6-month lease together in August of 2006.
That is correct.
How long had you been dating before you decided to move in with him?
I met him in March, so I was dating under 6 months.
I ask that not because it's particularly relevant, but I'm conducting my own sociological study. I want to see how quickly it is that people make this
Mistake.
Right.
Yes.
In any event, your lawsuit says that you moved in August.
Yes, August 5th.
And you moved out in?
September 25th.
Right. So the living together at least saved you a bad marriage.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Good. It is your claim that Mr. Ware is responsible for half of a cruise that you booked with his consent and his agreement to pay for half of the trip. It was a non-refundable amount of money. It was $2,000, $1,000 for you, $1,000 for him, which, of course, he didn't go on.
Correct.
Because the cruise was scheduled for?
October 13th. October 7th, excuse me.
Did you take anyone else with you?
No.
So you had the cabin all by yourself?
I sure did.
So let's deal with that first. You moved in August. Things started to go downhill right away. I don't have to know the why. It was not good. You were both not unhappy with the separation. Is that right?
Yes.
You moved out, but you continued to pay the rent, your half of the rent.
I did.
Does she still continue to pay her half of the rent?
Up until December.
I think she's a princess. And you continued to live there?
Yes, I did.
All by yourself?
And my kids, when I had them for visitation, yes, I did.
Well, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So you had a great place to live. Are you still living there?
Until January 6th.
And then what happens?
I received a 30-day notice.
Why?
Because she didn't pay her, as it states in this letter, she didn't pay for December's rent.
Why didn't you pay?
I paid my half.
Why didn't you pay the whole thing?
Because I have a written agreement from her that says that she would pay the half as long as I didn't have a roommate.
I'm telling you, she's really been a princess. If she's paid September, October, and November, and she hasn't lived there, and you've lived there with your kids, so how old are you?
Me, 37.
Why don't you take care of your own responsibilities? Where are you going after January? They gave you a 30-day notice. Where do you intend to go?
Oh, I'll find a place. No, none in mind right now.
What do you mean you have none in mind?
Well, I'm looking.
How much rent do you pay?
$675.
Is that the entire rent?
No.
Or just your half?
That's my half.
Okay. When you moved in to that apartment, where had you been living just prior to that?
With my boss, as well as Christina.
With your boss?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do?
I am a cabinet installer.
And you lived in your boss's house?
Yes, I did. As well as he's a friend as well.
Before you lived with your boss, where did you live?
I lived with my friend, me and a friend named Brian.
And when you lived with Brian, how much rent did you pay?
About $300 a month because it was just for a room.
How many children do you have?
2.
How much child support do you pay?
The child support is, my son is not legally mine. I accepted that responsibility when he was born, and after she went after his real father for child support, so they dismissed that court order, and for Bella it's $246, I think it is.
How much child support do you pay?
$246.
He doesn't pay child support.
When was the last time you paid child support, Mr. Ware?
It's been a couple years because my ex-wife put a letter in. She said that when she required me to pay child support, that I didn't see the kids regularly, so she wrote a letter to the district attorneys in Sacramento County.
That's hearsay. I just asked you a simple question. When was the last time you paid child support? You said several years ago.
Yeah.
You just told me that you used your apartment, sir, this apartment that you were living in and having half the rent paid by the plaintiff for both yourself and your children when you had them. So clearly you were seeing your children within the last 3 or 4 months.
Yes.
But you haven't been paying child support.
No.
Is this your boss?
Yes, it is.
How did I know that? Are you paid on the books or off the books?
On the books. I'm 1099.
And how much was your 1099 last year?
I didn't work for him last year.
Yes, he did.
Mr. Ware, he doesn't even want to stand up anymore and get involved with this, sir. Did you file tax returns last year?
No, I did not.
You just told me you lived with your boss last year before you moved in with her.
Last year.
What's your last name, sir?
McWee, ma'am.
You want to leave now?
No, ma'am.
You might want to rethink that. You get me? Good. So you're paid in cash and you don't pay taxes and you don't pay child support. supposed to pay your own rent.
I did, my half.
Well, you didn't pay, no, your own rent. Listen to me, Mr. 37 years old. You live in this country. You work for him. You're supposed to pay taxes like everybody else, which you don't do. You have children, 2, or maybe just 1. They come to visit you, and yet you have no fiscal responsibility for them. The rest of her lawsuit is, she says, A, she made a small loan to you for a lawyer. I'm not so interested in that, $199. But she said that you had no credit. Well, the reason you have no credit is because you allegedly have no income. So that she put all the utilities in her name. She put all the utilities in her name, left them in her name because she had no credit, and you didn't pay the bill, even when she was paying her half of the rent. Sir?
I was giving her half my check. She went over to my boss's house and received money from them.
You mean after she moved out?
After she moved out?
I'm talking about after she moved out.
After she moved out, I told her she threatened to turn everything off. I told her to go ahead and turn everything off.
Oh, she should have.
So?
And she didn't.
And she didn't.
And did you turn the lights on?
I couldn't.
Listen to me. Did you turn the lights on?
Yes, I did.
Did you turn the stove on?
Yes,
did you
I did.
plug in a coffee maker?
Yes, I did.
So you used the juice. When you use the juice, you have to pay for it. Did you use the telephone?
Yes, I did.
If you use the telephone, you have to pay for it. You know, just like if you're an American citizen and you use the roads and you use the other services that the government provides, you have to pay taxes.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
The dish bill came to $292.23. I actually put a passcode on there around October when I found out there was adult movies rented on there.
He had to do something to keep himself occupied.
And later today,
he said he was not going to give up on the relationship, and when I told him that he did not have a choice because I was done, he started punching himself in the face.
Show me how he did that.
Christina Smith claims ex-boyfriend Gerald Ware Jr. owes for his share of a cruise vacation, utility bills, and a loan to retain an attorney.
How much were your electric bills and service bills after you moved out? I'm talking about just for him.
Yes, the dish bill came to $292.23. I actually put a passcode on there around October 20th when I found out there was adult movies rented on there.
He had to do something to keep himself occupied. Next.
Sure West bill was $260.14.
Is that it?
Yes, and if you're not going to do the attorney bill.
No. $552, rounding it out, Bird. Thank you. Is that about right?
Yes.
No sense. Good. $552. Now, let's talk about the cruise, Mr. Ware. You told her to go ahead and book the cruise?
A cruise was planned before I met her. We had been talking about it amongst friends before she moved in, and her sister is a friend of my boss.
Did you tell her to go ahead and book the cruise?
No, I did not.
That's not what you said here, sir.
My boss's wife booked
That's
the cruise.
not what you said here, sir, in your answer. Just because you broke up doesn't mean that you don't pay for half the cruise. You pay for half the cruise. What?
In order to get the cruise, you have to do double occupancy.
Don't speak to me sitting down.
Sorry, ma'am. We told them both prior to this going that if anything happened, that you have to pay double occupancy to get on this cruise in order to get all the cabins together. So I said, if something happens, you can't change it, you can't get the money back, and they were both aware of that.
You made that clear to both of them.
Correct.
Terrific. Thank you. You can sit down.
I gave Gerald every opportunity to go on that cruise.
Listen, it happens. He's got to pay for half the cruise because you're out the money. Do you understand?
No, I don't, but...
Well, it's very, very easy, sir. There's no way that you wanted to go on this cruise, and there's no way that you were going to share a cabin together. Somebody was going to go on the cruise. Now, it is my sense that if you said to her, I will give you the $2,000, I will go on the cruise instead of you, she would have said, great.
No.
She would have said to you, great. You go on the cruise, and I won't. But right now, she had $2,000 invested in this cruise, and she hadn't seen a penny from you.
Yes, she had, ma'am.
Oh, really? You paid for some?
I was giving her all my checks that I was receiving from him.
Checks?
To
You
pay
get cash?
for...
Listen to me.
Well, cash. To pay for credit card bills that were outstanding when
We're
we met.
not talking credit card bills, sir.
That's
We're talking
how
about the cruise.
That's how the cruise was paid, on credit card.
How much money were you giving her?
I was receiving $500 a week.
In what?
In cash.
I love it when a game plan comes together. Just think of it this way, sir. It's your contribution to taxes. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,552.
Judge,
That's all.
I have some joy. I want to give back to his daughter.
Perfect. That's all. Thank you.
All right, excused. You may step out.
I would never put what I owe and what things I have to pay on her, I never did that.
Be taken advantage of, and he lied throughout the whole relationship.
My monetary situation never affected her.
And I went through a marriage like that, and I'm not going to do it again.
Tony Paterniti is suing 23-year-old Jason Schnell for vandalizing his place of business. Tony claims Jason smashed his property with his vehicle.
All rise.
That's case number 529 on the calendar in the matter of Paterniti versus Schnell. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Mr. Paterniti, according to your complaint, it is your belief and your claim that the defendant caused substantial damage to buildings of yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
With his vehicle.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Schnell says he didn't do it. So, first, when was the damage to your buildings?
December 6th of last year, Your Honor.
What kind of buildings were there?
It was a fenced-in area where I keep some construction material and a metal building, a steel building. I drew a diagram, if I could show you that.
First, I'd like to see the damage done to the buildings. You have photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
There wasn't a tornado in your area, was there?
Not at that time, Your Honor.
No. And when you left, you said it was December of 06. What date in December?
December 6th.
On the 5th, were you at the building?
Yes, ma'am.
Building's okay?
It was fine when I left around 6 p.m.
Fence was okay?
Yes, everything was okay. No tornadoes that night.
So now I see the damage. How much in dollars was the damage that was
I estimated
caused?
around $4,600, Your Honor.
How do you get to that estimate, Mr. Paterniti?
I'm a licensed contractor. I brought a copy of my contractor's license. And I actually believe I estimated it low since I can do most of the work myself.
You have to replace the fence in the shed?
Yes.
Okay. Now you're going to try to explain to me, since I gather from your papers you did not see Mr. Schnell
That's correct.
cause this damage. What evidence do you have that he caused the damage?
Well, Your Honor, can I show you at first what I thought happened to the property?
No, don't tell me what you thought. I'm not interested in what you thought.
Okay, the reason I think it was Mr. Schnell is when he hit the concrete sidewalk here, he blew out a tire. Left gouge marks on the concrete, knocked down all of this, and there was gouge marks all along the property, and we followed the gouge marks down here, and I could actually see where the gouge marks on the road on
You mean the gouge marks on the road from being driven on the tire rim?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Got it.
He turned up, I could see where they crossed the street and turned up 90th Avenue. At the time I was looking, a friend of mine and his son came down.
It's hearsay.
Okay. Well, I think that's a key evidence, Your Honor, that someone
Well,
told
I don't
us.
care if it's key evidence or not, sir. That's hearsay. What somebody else told you, an out-of-court statement, is not admissible in court for the truth of that statement. So right now, you're following the gouge marks.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Okay, at that point, the police went up this street. I didn't go.
You did not go with them?
No, I didn't. They went past this house down here where they found Mr. Schnell's vehicle.
Just a second. Only if you have a police report that indicates that.
I do have a police report,
I'd like
Your
to
Honor.
take a look at the police report that indicates that. Police observe in their report that the damage appears to have been done by somebody doing donuts on the property with their car and lost control and struck the concrete pad, causing the right front tire to blow out, which caused damage to the rim. And then the writer observed pieces of the rim on the concrete pad. The writer observed gouge marks in the concrete from the broken rim. Then it ran into a chain link fence. Writer recovered various pieces from the rim and also the passenger's side mirror and what appeared to be a fog lamp. Then the police found the defendant's car, Mr. Schnell. That would be you.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up on your own 2 feet.
Yes, ma'am.
And found that the mirror that was located at the location matched that of the subject vehicle. Coincidence.
Big coincidence, Your
Speak
Honor.
not!
Yes, ma'am.
And the writer, that would be the police, also observed that pieces of the rim that were found at the incident location also matched that of the subject's vehicle. That would be you.
My turn?
Look at me. Look at me.
Yes, ma'am. I was just
I don't
gonna
want you
grab...
to look down at anything.
Oh, no. I was just grabbing the pictures. I have evidence also. There is no way that my Jeep could have done that damage to his property, ma'am.
What kind of car do you... Put it down. What kind of car do you have?
98 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
How much did you pay for it?
About $5,000.
Did you take good care of the car?
Oh, no, ma'am, I did not.
So you acted irresponsibly towards the car?
Oh, I did.
Where did you
Yes,
get the $5,000 from to buy the car?
Just,
Don't look over there.
Yes, ma'am. I just gotten off a deployment, ma'am, from Iraq, so I had a lot of money in the bank.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, about a day prior to the incident, ma'am, I had totaled my Jeep. I was driving along the road. I was speeding like...
Just a second.
Yes, ma'am.
Day before,
Yes, ma'am.
you totaled the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me how you did that.
My tire...
Look at me.
Yes, ma'am. My tire blew out, and I went
Which tire?
My right front tire, ma'am.
Right front tire blew out.
Yes, ma'am.
How did it blow out, Mr. Schnell?
I don't know how it blew out, ma'am.
Right front tire blew out, and?
I went crashing into trees. I got pictures here that shows the trees that I crashed into.
I'd like to take
shows
a
the
look.
brake marks.
I'd like to take a look at the tree you crashed into.
Yes, ma'am.
And that wasn't anywhere near his building, was it?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Good.
You look at the pictures, you won't see a building around it.
And I want to see the car.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
took pictures
Yes, ma'am.
of the tree. Very nice. And now I want to see a picture of the car. Totaled undrivable?
Oh, yes, ma'am. It was completely undrivable.
Completely.
Yes, ma'am. Well, it would start, ma'am, but...
Don't speak. I have questions.
Yes, ma'am.
So you went into a tree. How far away from where you live?
A couple miles, ma'am. About 2 or 3.
Would it be anywhere in this area that's on the bottom?
I can show you on the map, ma'am.
Sure.
It would be out this way if the map extended further.
Okay, good. So it would be all the way over there.
Yes, ma'am.
And how did the car get back to your house?
I rode it home on the rim, ma'am.
I thought you told me that it was not drivable, sir.
It was...
Listen to me. You just told me a moment ago, Mr. Schnell,
Yes, ma'am.
that the car was not drivable.
Not safely drivable anyway, ma'am.
Mr. Schnell, this is not going to go well for you, sir.
Oh, no, ma'am, it will because...
It's not going to go well for you. So you went into this tree,
Yes, ma'am.
and this undrivable car all of a sudden became drivable enough for you to drive it home.
Well,
on the
limped it
rim.
home's more like it, ma'am.
No. You either call for a tow or you call the police.
The way I
that's what
figured
you
it is
do.
if I called the police and I filled out an accident report and everything and go back to my insurance company and most of those damages on there, I can just get the parts from a junkyard or something and fix it
Now,
cheaper
one
than
of the
deductible
things
would
that
be.
was damaged on your car, sir, is a side view mirror that's missing.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not
Just a sec, I'm speaking. A side view, so far, does it look as if I need your help?
I have some other pictures I want to show you, Your Honor.
Fine, I'm not finished with him yet.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There is no way that I could have drove that car that night because the tire was already blown out.
That's if I believe that you went into a tree the day before. That's if I believe that, sir. You're starting out with a premise that is not necessarily true.
And later today,
Why did you stop payment on the check?
She was in an abusive relationship. Her boyfriend would come over, get high, smoke weed, hit on me. We got into a physical altercation, and I decided this was the last straw.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tony Paternitti claims Jason Schnell vandalized his place of business when he recklessly drove a vehicle onto the property.
So far we have a right front tire
Yes, ma'am.
that matches the right front tire at his place of business, and a side view mirror also found at his place of business, also missing from your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Coincidence.
I'm
I'm
not-
speaking coincidence. Either it's a coincidence or it's on purpose.
It's coincidence, ma'am.
Coincidence.
Yes, ma'am.
We also have a fog lamp
Yes, ma'am.
also missing from your car.
I'm not
No.
disputing that my car was crashed, ma'am.
Just answer my question.
Yes, ma'am. Also missing.
That the police found on his property.
Yes, ma'am. Also, if you'll look at that picture, though, ma'am, did they find my bumper on his property?
Just a second.
Did they find anything
let
else
me
that was
explain
missing from the
something
car,
to you,
ma'am?
sir. I don't answer your questions.
Yes, ma'am.
That is not my job.
Yes, ma'am.
At what rank did you leave the military?
Lance Corporal, ma'am.
What was a step above Lance Corporal?
Corporal.
Corporal. And above that?
Sergeant.
Did you speak back to your sergeant?
I did
not
when
if
I
you
was right,
wanted to
ma'am.
live, right?
I did when I was right, ma'am.
Well, maybe that's why you chose not to make the Army a career.
Marine Corps, ma'am.
So now we have the coincidence of right front tire, side view mirror, and fog lamp, all retrieved at his place of business after the police, according to this, followed the rim marks back to your house.
There is no way that I could have drove that car that night because the tire was already blown out.
That's if I believe that you went into a tree the day before. That's if I believe that, sir. You're starting out with a premise that is not necessarily true.
I have a witness that can say for sure that my Jeep was wrecked on the night in question.
You mean that's him?
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to call you up here, would you tell me that the Jeep was wrecked the day before?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, right. Now, when you got home, just for my own curiosity, when you got home on the 5th after you wrecked this vehicle and you live with your, look at me, with him? I'm asking you a question.
Oh, me, ma'am? I thought you were talking to him again.
No,
Sorry
my
about that.
eyes look at the person I'm talking to.
Yes, ma'am. No, I live at home, ma'am, with my family.
With your family?
Yes, ma'am.
Mother and father?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you provide the police with your mother and father's names so that they could confirm this story that you told about your car being damaged the day before? The answer is either yes or no.
No, ma'am.
Now I'll see your pictures.
Thank you. These are actual police photographs, Your Honor, when the police went to his house. And these photos are still in evidence that show the fog lamp in question and the mirror and some parts for the rim.
I'd like to see
that the police matched to the vehicle, and I've also found more pieces on my property since I've been doing the cleanup.
Okay, just a second. So the mirror that was found, which is primarily what I'm looking at, the paint is the same color as his car.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's see what else we have. So we have
And you
right
can see-
front tire, side view mirror, the same color as the side view mirror would have been from his car.
Yes, Your Honor.
All found on your property.
Yes, Your Honor.
What kind of work do you do now, Mr. Schnell?
I'm unemployed, ma'am,
How long have you been unemployed?
since end of November.
Why?
Unemployment pays better than Walmart.
So your parents just let you sort of hang around after you. When did you come out of the service?
My EAS was November 26th.
Of '06?
Yes, ma'am.
So you stayed home December, January, February. At this point, it's time for you to get into gear, right?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
First, you pay him the money that you owe him, $4,600. Judgment for the plaintiff, that's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I never even met him before this. I don't think he did it to me on purpose.
The accident that I had
I feel bad for him. He just got back from Iraq,
did go past his property.
serving our country, which I thank him for.
I did have a witness stating that that Jeep was totaled.
Maybe he was out celebrating, but that's the wrong way to celebrate.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Faye versus Malabar. Step forward, please.
19-year-old Megan Fay is suing her ex-boyfriend, 20-year-old waiter Kevin Malabar, for loans to pay rent and to buy a new cell phone. Kevin claims Megan is upset that he's moved on.
Miss Fay, it is your claim that you made 2 small loans to the defendant while you were dating.
Yes.
Mr. Malabar says that he doesn't recall you making any loans to him, that he doesn't need your money. He has no knowledge of any loans or financial gifts that you made to him. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. You both go to school?
Yes.
When did you make the first loan?
It was August 7th.
2006?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
He said that his dad couldn't pay for his rent because his dad was getting a new job. So he wanted me to lend him the money until his dad could pay me with the new job, and that was $420.
What was the money for?
The rent money.
Where did you get the money from?
My savings account.
You have proof of that for me?
Yeah, I have the statements right here.
Can I see it, please?
I had to take 2 up. Okay.
You had to take 2 out because?
I was doing the ATM, so I didn't think I would be able to take $420 out at once, so I split it up.
Okay. Were you working?
Yes.
What kind of work were you doing?
I work at JCPenney's.
Full-time?
Part-time, I work between 15 and 30 hours while going to school.
But what about you, sir?
I work full-time at a restaurant as a server.
What was the next loan that you made to him?
I've been bugging him about a cell phone, so he told me that he wanted to get one, so his dad said he couldn't do it, so I went with him to open it, and...
What do you mean you were bugging him about a cell phone?
He didn't have a cell phone, so I'd have to call his friends, and he said that he would get one, and his dad would pay for it, but his dad couldn't do it at that time, so I went with him and opened one for him.
Well, he was working. Why didn't he buy it?
He just started, and I made him get that job. He didn't want to work, and
how much was the cell phone?
It was $200.
Okay, and you don't remember any of this, sir?
No, my father would pay cash for my rent. My parents are divorced, and they both would pay half of the rent.
So you have no information whatsoever about this $420 amount of money?
No. And she's, what was the date she said she took that money out?
August 7th.
Our rent was due the 20th of every month.
Yes.
So I don't know why there would be the 7th of the month that she would be taking out money for my rent.
I don't know. That's
He
what she
was
says.
going to visit his friend where he was living, and he needed it that day because he wouldn't get to it before the due date. That's what he told me. I was all just going on what he was telling me, and I didn't want him to lose his apartment, so I gave him the money.
Okay. Now, Miss Fay, you claim that after he refused to pay you back because you had some disagreement about his going out with somebody else, you contacted his father.
Yes.
And how did you contact him?
I had a cell phone because Kevin would use my phone to call his father and his mother. So I called his dad hoping he would be able to help me out.
And did you speak with him?
Yes.
And what did he say to you?
He said that he couldn't help me, that he talked to Kevin, and Kevin wanted to do this on his own because he was 20, and that if nothing happens, he told me that I should do small claims court.
That's what his father told you?
Yes. Because
What's
he
your
didn't want
father's
to help me
telephone
out.
number, sir?
5763.
Is that his work number?
No, that's his cell phone.
Good. Did you ever meet him, by the way?
Yes. I would go to his house with Kevin. I would have to drive him because
Good.
he didn't have a car.
I'm going to give your dad a call.
Okay.
How's that?
That's fine.
Great. This is Judge Judy Scheindlin. How are you? Mr. I have a couple of questions for you. Do you have a moment for me, sir? Great, great. Do you remember sometime several months ago receiving a phone call from Miss Fay, your son's former girlfriend, Megan Fay? She discussed with you some money that she said your son had borrowed from her? Did she tell you how much he had borrowed? Did you agree to pay her that money? And did you speak to Kevin about it? And what happened? Okay. Did you tell Miss Fay that if he owed her money, that she should sue him? I absolutely agree with you, sir. You've met this young lady before, is that right? Ever had any difficulty with her before? Seemed like a nice young lady? Very good. Thanks very much. I appreciate your assistance. Bye-bye now.
He said,
There are always ways to figure out who's telling the truth, Mr. Malabar. If I can't get it from one source, I get it from another. Don't you feel foolish? 10 million people are going to know you're a liar.
I'm not lying here.
Yes, you are.
What did he say?
That's for me to know and for you to think about. But there's no question in my mind you're a liar. Judging for the plaintiff in the amount of $620. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I'm just glad that she saw what he was and that I got my money.
She never lent me money. My parents paid all my rent and for everything else.
He's a liar and he's cheated on everyone.
Jealousy,
I don't talk to the defendant.
craziness.
Don't give people money.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of London versus Bell. Step forward.
25-year-old Aaron London is suing his former co-worker, Corey Bell, for defaming his character at work. Aaron claims Corey passed around a phony Craigslist ad.
Mr. London, did you and the defendant work in the same company?
Yes, at one point we did.
This is your complaint. You put an ad in Craigslist. I gather you went to school to become a massage therapist?
Yes.
And you put an ad on Craigslist for massages with your picture on it. Does it have your picture?
Yes.
Mr. Bell saw that ad on Craigslist. Is that right, sir?
I did.
And he thought it was really funny that you had posted that ad on Craigslist. So far, am I right?
Yes.
So he circulated it around the office. He sent it to a lot of other people. He thought it was funny, like, you know, like people send jokes on the computer, and he sent it to a whole lot of other people. So you're suing him for defamation because you were very embarrassed.
Yes.
That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. London, can I see the ad, please?
Yeah.
Okay. So this says, Hello, ladies. Imagine casting your eyes upon this gorgeous whatever. It's got pictures of you, right? And it says, massage for big, beautiful women. Reply to personals, it looks like a number at Craigslist.org. And when people reply to this personal, they get you. Is that right?
Well, they get transferred to an email, yeah.
But it's you.
No, not in this particular case. There's a little bit more to the story that hasn't been revealed yet.
Sir, all I want to know
Yes.
is, it comes back to you.
Yes.
Now, is this the same ad that you sent to other people?
Yes.
You didn't modify it in any way?
No, didn't modify
You didn't
it.
change it, you didn't add words,
No,
you didn't...
no, I didn't. I just sent the link.
You sent the link and you said, take a look at this.
That's it.
That's not a crime, Mr. London. That's not a crime. That's not a lawsuit.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it.
Well,
though,
give me
okay?
30 seconds, sir. That's what happened. You put this
Well-
ad that you didn't want to be circulated among your
No.
office mates. He circulated it among your office mates. If you didn't want it out there, you shouldn't have printed it.
Well, no, that actually isn't what happened. What happened is I work for the bank, and I also have a personal training and massage therapy business, like you said. And another kind of job side hustle that I do is I write personal ads for Craigslist. Also ads for businesses, whoever needs advertising.
Very nice.
who
Now,
lacks-
not an advertisement for you, sir. So you have a lot of businesses. You
And-
put this on Craigslist.
Yes, technically speaking.
That's what
But
we're here for.
that ad wasn't for me.
Who cares
I
who it
wrote
was
the ad
for?
for somebody else. This
Who cares who it was for? Who cares? He doesn't know that. All he knows is this is the ad that he saw on Craigslist. He had every right to send it to whoever he wanted to send it to.
to my workplace. Well, he doesn't work in the workplace anymore.
I don't care. He could have sent it to the King of Siam. He could have sent it to me. He could have sent it to the President of the United States. He could have sent it to the Vice President of the United States or the Secretary of the Interior. It doesn't make any difference. It's out there in cyberspace. It's open. That's what it is. It's like sending an open letter.
To send it to my job for what? For
Who
laughs?
cares? If you don't want to be embarrassed, you don't put embarrassing things on the internet, Mr. London. If you don't want to be embarrassed, keep your private thoughts to yourself.
But the ad is not mine. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Can I actually tell you?
Listen,
what-
Mr. London, I understand the nonsense what you wrote in your complaint. You said you were doing an ad for somebody else, and this was just a sample of what the ad would look like. But Mr. Bell doesn't know that because you posted this on Craigslist.
But how does he know I posted it?
It doesn't make any difference whether he knows you posted it or not, sir. It's here. It's out there in the world. Just like he sees it, anybody else can see it. He can send it to whomever he wants to send it. The truth of the matter is, you did post it on Craigslist. Now, did somebody tie you down and take these pictures?
No, those are sample pictures.
Those are pictures that
The
you...
pictures don't even match the ad. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh,
it's
yes,
not
they
even.
do. Oh, yeah, listen, Mr. London, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, sir. This may have aggravated you. It may have upset you. It's a very good lesson. If you want to think privately, you go, I want to take it all in, and this is what I want to do. I want to keep these thoughts to myself. If you want to give massages to big, beautiful women, and that's what you're thinking about, and I'm going to see it, but I'm not going to write it in a letter to my mother or my sister or my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I'm going to keep it to myself. Once you type it in the machine and you write send, it's over. It's out there. It's in Mexico and Burma and Jersey and Brooklyn. It's all over the place. And you can't complain about it if somebody says, this is really funny. I want to send it to everybody that I know who knows this jerk who posted this on Craigslist. So, Mr. London, grow up. You want to keep things to yourself? You want to talk into your pillow. Don't talk into your computer. Case is dismissed.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
We were great friends. I mean, he sat on my couch. He got drunk with me. You know, we hung out together.
Well, it's not necessarily what was posted. It was the intent behind it.
If it was me, my friends would have sent out the same. I would have been embarrassed. Oh, okay, I got busted. I got caught. That's it. He got caught with his pants down.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Fairbank versus Pavonsa. Step forward, please.
17-year-old Christina Fairbank and her mother, Janet, are suing Christina's ex-boyfriend, 18-year-old Rich Pavonsa, for crashing their car on 2 occasions and for a loan to go to the prom.
How old are you, Miss Fairbanks?
I'm 17.
This is your mom?
Yes.
And that used to be your boyfriend?
Yes.
How old are you?
18.
You went to high school together?
Yes.
Your complaint, Miss Fairbanks, is that you allowed Mr. Pavonsa. Is that the way you pronounce your name?
Yeah.
Is that close enough?
Yeah,
What's your
close
first
enough.
name?
Rich.
Rich. You allowed Rich to drive your car often, But on 2 occasions, he had accidents with the car.
Yes.
And you want him not only to pay for the damage he did to the car, but the increase in insurance that your mother has to pay on the car for the next 12 months because of the accidents. In addition, you claim that your mother made a small loan to him for some expenses that had to do with the homecoming and the prom.
Yes.
Rich says that it's all your fault that he was in these accidents and that maybe he took $40 from your mother, but he spent so much more than that on homecoming and the prom that it's really ridiculous to even talk about the $40, right?
Yes.
Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Tell me the first time you had an accident with Miss Fairbanks' car.
The first time was when I was going to pick up tickets at my friend's house. Her name's Bethany. And it was during a snowstorm. Then I was turning too fast. Then I slid right into the curve. And that's when I wrecked the car the first time.
Did she give you the car to go to pick up the tickets? Or had you been using it for a while?
I have been using it.
So it was a pretty regular occurrence that you used the car?
Yeah.
I believe that, absolutely. Now, did you know he was using the car?
He only drove the car when she was in the vehicle with him.
That's not true. That's not true.
No, it was true. I would only allow him to drive if I was in the car, except for those 2 occasions.
What happened when you had this accident?
I drove back to my apartment place and parked it there, then called Christina and told her.
What did he tell you, Christina?
He told me that if I took blame for the car, then he would have paid me for it.
So he said to you, why don't you take responsibility for the accident and tell your mother you were driving?
Yes.
Which is lie to your mother?
Yes.
And did you?
Yes, I did.
Now, when you lied to your mother about who was driving the car, I want you to tell me what you told her.
Well, I told...
No, look at me, like I'm your mother.
Mom, what happened was we had some movies due at Dillon's, and so I decided to go and take them back in the very bad ice storm, which I really shouldn't have been doing, but I didn't want to pay a late fee on them. And as I was coming back to the apartment, I slid on a patch of ice and hit one of the rails at the apartment with my wheel, and it bent the axle into the wheel well.
You remember her telling you that story?
Yes, I do.
Did you believe her?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
No, because she was scared to drive on the ice.
Just a second. So what did you say to her?
I asked her if she was telling me the truth.
Just a second. Okay. You said to her, Christina, are you telling me the truth?
Yes.
And what did she say?
She said yes.
And you said what?
That I really didn't believe her.
But she stuck with the story.
Yes.
Just like she's sticking with the story that the only 2 times she let him drive the car without her in the car was when he had accidents.
The car was always at my house.
I don't always. Not these 2 times it wasn't.
Just during the day.
Miss Fairbanks.
Possibly.
Miss Fairbanks, don't play with me.
I'm
I'm just
not,
telling you
ma'am.
that your daughter's a fibber and that you believed her. That's all. I'm not minimizing what he did. He had the accident. Now, whose idea was it to say that she was driving? Don't look over there.
Okay.
Look over here.
That was my idea.
Your idea.
Yeah.
Now, why did you want her to lie to your mother, Rich?
So the insurance won't go up for them.
Now, with that in mind, why don't you think you're responsible for paying for that accident?
Because they took the risk of me driving the car because they allowed me to drive the car. That's why.
Now you're becoming irritating. Who was driving the car in an ice storm?
I was.
Who made the bad judgment to go and do a non-essential errand during an ice storm?
I did.
Who misjudged the road?
I did.
So who do you think ought to pay for the damage?
I think I should.
Right! There you go. There you go. Now, how much did it cost to fix that accident?
$348.73.
Okay. Now, Christina, my darling, a week after he had this accident and asked you to come up with this cock and bull story to give your mother and lie to your mother, you let him drive the car again.
Yes, he was supposed to go and get gas.
You let him drive the car
Yes.
again, all by himself. Tell me about what happened this time, Rich.
There was cars turning in from both lanes, and it's a busy street in the morning because of school. and I thought I saw an opening, so I tried to take it, and a Dodge Neon came and hit me.
So you misjudged oncoming traffic.
Yes.
Now, whose fault was that?
Mine again.
So let's go through the drill. Who was driving the car?
I was.
Who misjudged the oncoming traffic?
I did.
Who's responsible for the accident?
I was.
Who should pay for it?
Me.
At least he learns. Now, how much was it for that accident?
I have a deductible, and
How
here's
much?
my $500.
Okay, did you have it fixed?
Yes, I did.
So far, Rich,
Yes.
you owe Mrs. Fairbanks, not her fibbing daughter, but you owe Mrs. Fairbanks $848.73. Now, Christina, do you have a job?
I did.
Now, the next part of your lawsuit, you want him to pay for the increased insurance.
Yes.
He's not going to. You know who's going to pay for the increased insurance? You are. Because you let him drive the car. He's going to pay for the accidents. But your job is to reimburse your mother because it was your poor judgment letting him drive the car, especially the second time, because that was a bad accident, because he had already been in one accident. And as far as your mother knew, you were not letting him drive the car unless you were in it. That was a lie. And it was the wrong thing to do. There are consequences to your actions, and you're going to have to make up for that insurance if you want to drive a car. So go get a job, because he's not paying for that. But he is paying for $848 so far and 73 cents. Now, you want to give me this business about prom and what money you loaned to him?
He had my daughter come and ask me for money for prom because he was running low and he was going to be graduating in May.
So what did you say to your daughter?
I wrote her the check because I was assuming that he would pay me when he got his next paycheck.
So?
Because that's what they were telling me.
No, she. So far, I haven't heard anything from him. Go ahead.
And so they asked for that money. And I also paid for their boutonnieres and their corsages. He told us that we needed to go up and order them and that when they came in, he would pay me.
Is that what you said?
No, I did not.
Ms. Fairbanks, forget the prom. $848.73, Rich,
Yes.
is what your responsibility is for wrecking this car. That's not their responsibility.
Yeah.
And Christina, sometimes when you do the wrong thing, other people suffer for it. You know who suffered for it? Your mother. You better make her whole. Get a job. It's all judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $848.73. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I would have appreciated him just telling me that he was sorry.
I said sorry to her daughter.
It was always whatever. It wasn't his fault.
It was an accident.
And he'd make up excuses for it and never would say, I'm sorry, nothing.
Normal accident.
He wanted to marry me and give me children and all that happy crap.
Not gonna happen.
When I found him cheating on me,
Found someone new.
he'd like to drift where you pull the e-brake.
I didn't do it with that car.
Don't go for a guy for his looks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He has no looks.
Get over it.
I'll pay her back for everything.
Case 2053, Johnson versus Blue. All parties, please come forward.
Rochelle Johnson is suing her sister-in-law, Monique Blue, and her brother, Antonio Blue, for unpaid rent and window blinds.
Ms. Johnson, the defendant is your brother.
That is correct.
And his co-defendant, your brother's wife. You had a home that was located in what state?
California.
Several years ago, you decided to move out of state, I think to Arizona?
Yes.
And at that time, you discussed with your brother and his wife renting your home. You entered into a lease with them. Was it a 2-year lease?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was a written lease?
Yes.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
I do.
I'd like to see it, please.
That's a 2-year, and I also have a 6-month.
No,
You want the 6? Okay.
Just the first lease first, because I'm old and I can only absorb a certain amount of facts at one time. It's a pretty straightforward lease. It's a lease for 24 months, starting the 1st of July, 2019, and terminating on July 1st, 2021. $1,600 a month rent, there's a small security deposit, and all the other terms and conditions are rather standard. Your complaint says that when you went to the state of Arizona, ultimately you ascertained that your health coverage, your lifetime health coverage, was not covered in the state of Arizona. You decided you wanted to move back to California. You don't even have to give a reason why you want to move back to California. You can move back to California into your house on July 1st, 2021. You understand that?
Yes.
Great. And you came back to California on what date?
I don't recall the exact date, but I also extended a 6-month.
I understand. When did you come back to California? In March. That's what you said here. I think in March.
Okay, right now I don't recall.
I think in March of 2022 is when you ultimately came back because they vacated sometime the beginning of March.
No. I came back prior to that. I stayed with my son for a year until
the lease was up?
Yes, ma'am.
Your son lives in California?
Yes, Beaumont, California.
Now, I'd like to see the extension of the lease for 6 months. Okay, so you acknowledge, Mr. and Mrs. Blue, that the 6-month extension that you both signed terminated on December 31st.
Yes.
Did you vacate the house on December 31st?
No, we hadn't found a place yet.
That's not her problem. That would be your problem. Did she give you permission to stay beyond December 31st? On what date, sir, did you close on that property?
I can't remember offhand.
We're not talking about so long ago.
February 7th is listed as the closing date.
That sound familiar? That's what it says.
Yes.
Well, then you had 3 weeks to move in.
Rochelle Johnson claims her sister-in-law, Monique Blue, and her brother, Antonio Blue, owe for unpaid rent and window blinds. Monique and Antonio are countersuing for harassment and invasion of privacy.
Okay. Did she give you permission to stay beyond December 31st?
No.
So you stayed beyond December 31st. Were you there in January?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer. Yes. Were you there in February?
Yes.
Were you there on March 1st?
Yes.
On March 2nd?
Yes.
On March 3rd?
Yes.
On what day in March did you move out?
March 5th.
Did you pay rent in the month of January?
No.
February?
No.
March?
No.
Okay, that's what she's suing for.
Right.
Well, you have a defense for not paying rent for those 3 months, which you clearly occupied her premises. Who wants to tell me why you didn't pay rent?
She told us in the beginning we were supposed to buy the house. We did numerous renovations to our house. We cleaned it up. And when we first moved in July 1st, it wasn't move-in ready.
I don't care. You lived there. Not only did you live there, you executed a second lease for another 6 months. You lived there from the beginning of the lease up until March 5th, which is 3 months beyond when you were supposed to be there. I'm waiting for a defense and not paying rent.
Yes. For July 2019, when we first moved in, the house was hideous. She had stuff in every room. We weren't able to move our stuff in.
Did you live there?
Yes, we had nowhere else to go.
I don't care. You had a choice. If the house wasn't in move-in condition, you break your lease, but you don't say at the end of the lease, by the way, when we were there 2.5 years ago, the house wasn't ready for us to move in. It wasn't in condition that we liked. We lived there anyway. So that's not an excuse for not paying rent at the other end. Anything else?
Yeah. She offered to give us the last month rent that we were there for free.
The last month?
The last month rent. I have the papers.
Well, I'd like to take a look at that, but you owe 3 months.
3 months? We moved off March 5th.
I don't care. You were there March 1st. That's the month.
Okay.
Did you indicate to them that you would give them a month off the rent? Okay.
No, ma'am.
She says that you did. I'd like to see
your evidence as well.
No, just shh. No, she agreed to waive the final month's rent for the period of April 1st, 2022 to May 2nd, 2022. You were gone in March.
Right.
And your lease, for some reason, she agreed to waive rent for a month that you weren't there. She didn't waive January, February, or March. She agreed to waive it April 1, 2022 to May 2nd, 2022. That's no evidence that she waived any rent.
We moved out in March 5th. Why do we still owe her for March?
Because you were there in March.
Okay.
If she was using the premises as a rental premises and you were leaving at the end of February, then she would have been able to rent her premises beginning March 1st. You don't move out until March 5th. The beginning of March. That means she needs a couple of days, or any landlord would need a couple of days to put the place in order and re-rent it. They wouldn't be able to re-rent until April. So you were there. Is there any reason you stayed until March 5th instead of... Just a second. You didn't let me finish the question. Is there any reason why you didn't move out the last day in February and instead stayed into March?
Because our house wasn't ready yet.
What do you mean it wasn't ready?
We wasn't ready to move in there yet.
What was wrong with it? Where did you move?
Victorville, California.
Okay, to what kind of property?
We bought a house.
Okay, when did you buy the house? What month?
We did close January something.
So you bought the house in January.
Mm-hmm.
When you inspected the house that you bought, did you buy it furnished or unfurnished?
Unfurnished.
Did you have furniture in the plaintiff's house?
Yes.
You'll give her the address so she can check.
Yes.
Great. Sarah, just look it up for me, please. On what date did you close on that property?
February?
No, don't.
February.
On what date, sir, did you close on that property? It's probably in the record.
I can't remember offhand.
We're not talking about so long ago. Is there an address?
February 7th is listed as the closing date.
2/7. So the house became yours on February 7th. That sound familiar? That's what it says.
Yes.
Well, then you had 3 weeks to move in, to get it ready.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
All right. Fine. So you owe her 3 months' rent at $1,600 a month.
What about the renovations we did to our house?
Who cares? I live in a place for a couple of years, and I make changes to the place that I find make it more comfortable. There's nothing in this lease agreement that says that she has to reimburse you for things that she did, and this is not a rent-to-buy agreement. This is a straight tenancy agreement.
We were supposed to buy her house.
There are agreements that are rent-to-buy that list what the rental is and what the ultimate purchase price will be, and whether or not you can deduct the rent that you've paid or a percentage of it from the total purchase price, or whether you cannot. This is a straight rental agreement. So if you made improvements in the house, if you painted it, if you put in new carpeting to make it more comfortable for yourself, you don't get reimbursed for that because there's nothing in your lease that requires her to reimburse you for any improvements that you make in the house. You're bound by the four corners of the contract that you signed.
Well, what about how the conditions that we moved in?
Well,
that she doesn't.
Yes. By living there for 2.5 years, without, I assume, unless you can show me, without, I assume, a written complaint to her. Do you have that? Do you have a written complaint? No. I asked you, sir.
I have pictures.
$4,800. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you. You count the claims dismissed. It's ridiculous.
My mother's deceased, and it would actually hurt my mother to see us in court today. And that's my only regret, that I had to do that.
We're done.
The bottom line is, I am back in my house.
So I had a thought about that case because going through college, I think the first time I saw a lease was my sophomore year or so when I moved off campus. And my dad, luckily enough, was there to help me look over it and sort of teach me what a lease was, what the different sections meant, what I should really be looking out for. So in my mind, it would make sense for colleges to offer a basic life skills course to teach young incoming freshmen how to read a lease, how to negotiate on your behalf.
Did they offer that class at all to undergraduates?
It seems specified to business students or closed off to certain majors. Just to have some guidance would have been, I think, really helpful.
I think
Rosa Brooks is suing videographer Garrett Manny for unfinished video services.
Court come to order. All rise.
Thank you. Have a seat.
Hello, Judge. Case 2089, Brooks versus Manley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ms. Brooks, you are a realtor.
Yes.
And you also decided to go into the business of buying houses, fixing them up, and flipping them.
That's correct, Your Honor.
When did you decide to do that?
I started my company in 2017.
Was that just a real estate company, or was that the company that bought houses and renovated them and sold them? Which one?
That was my company that I started for flipping houses.
Do you have a partner in that business?
No, it's just myself.
From 2017 until now, how many houses have you sold and flipped?
This would have been my third one.
The house that we're talking about now?
Yes.
And when did you purchase that house?
I purchased it in March of 2020.
How much did you pay for it?
$200,000.
This is what the case is about. For that house, just that house, you commissioned Mr. Maney?
Yes, ma'am. Your Honor.
And you're a videographer.
Yes, Your Honor. Photographer and videographer.
To video for the purposes of advertising the project from start to finish, what it looked like when you purchased it, and sort of ongoing throughout the process, taking video of what you did to change cosmetically the inside and or the outside of the house. And you had an agreed price with him, which you paid. How much was that?
$1,919.
And it is your claim that since Mr. Maney did not finish the project and did not take the end product of what the house looked like when it was finished, you acknowledge he did come at other times and took video of what the house looked like at the beginning and the middle. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
But didn't do the video of the end, that you want your entire $1,919 back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Whatever he says. Mr. Maney says that you were difficult, that it was impossible, the job was supposed to take 4 months, it took almost a year, he didn't sign on for that, which may be. But more important, is there a video? Do you have a video of what he took? Do you have a video of what you gave her?
I have in my Google Drive a ton of video of what I've taken, but at the end, I have evidence showing we had scheduled for me to come in and do that final video. Everything was on point. Then she tells me here,
no,
it's going to be completed.
Just a second.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to let you have an opportunity
Okay, sorry, Your Honor.
to tell me what your defense is to this case, if you need one. I just want to see some video of what you took. Doesn't anybody have that here? I mean, if 3/4 of the project was completed with video, and the only thing, according to you, that he didn't do was the end, that's what you just told me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so did he give you the video that was done?
I got nothing, Your Honor.
Your Honor, she has had access to the Google Drive with all of the video components in there. I cannot complete the final edits to put everything together until she completed things on her part, which was never done.
Which was spoken about from the beginning. Completing things on her part meant completing the house.
Completing the house, talking points.
Okay, but video is completing the house.
That's part of it.
Part of it, and the other one is audio where she tells you what's been done.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm just thinking out loud. Why didn't you do that yourself?
Your Honor, I never had a video to be able to go and do my...
No, I'm saying, did you have access to what he had done up until that time? That's either a yes or a no. Did you have video capability of seeing what video he had shot?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have some evidence to show me that the plaintiff had access to the video that you had shot of 3/4 of the project being completed?
I believe I have something in here about uploading stuff into the Google Drive, which if she didn't have access to that Google Drive, then how did she upload the final walkthrough video that I do have evidence of that is not professional, that I was unable to complete due to her lack of commitment?
Just a second. You have video of what?
There is video evidence of the final walkthrough that was done by somebody on a phone camera because she canceled on me last minute when we were supposed to do it.
Just a second. Where did you get that evidence from?
She uploaded it into the Google Drive that had all of the videos, which she had access to, obviously,
so
if she put it in there.
So what you're saying is Miss Brooks added a video of a final walkthrough that was done by whom?
My son.
By her son. And she added that final walkthrough to the Google Drive, and therefore you were able to get it. And she tacked that on to the work that you did complete. Is that what you're telling me?
All of the rest of the videos are in that same Google Drive.
It's in the same Google Drive.
Which she had access
I
to
got
the
it.
entire
Now I'd like to see the video.
Which is not professional quality.
What did you do with that, Miss Brooks?
Your Honor,
what did you do with it?
Nothing.
At first you told me you didn't have access, that you never saw them. Then they were available to you and your son to be able to look at them. You say you never looked at them. I actually find that unbelievable, Miss Brooks. I find it unbelievable that you had them and you didn't look at them.
Rosa Brooks claims videographer Garrett Manny did not finish her home renovation video.
You didn't send it to him. There's no question you didn't send it to him.
He requested.
You did not send it to him.
No, I didn't No, my son sent it to him.
How do I know that?
He requested it from my son because he asked me to, but I did not know how to forward it to him on the format that he was requiring. I also have tried to meet with Mr. Manning to have him upload or transfer all of the video that I videotaped of when he couldn't make it to his office so that he can upload it onto his computer so he can edit it. He never gave me an edited copy of
Just a second. Ms. Brooks, is what you're telling me you have never seen any video of the 3/4 of the job that you acknowledge that he did? Are you telling me you've never seen any of those videos?
Never seen any of those videos, Your Honor, only when he was recording it at the property.
Mr. Maney, you wanted to show me something.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, there is
At the beginning, when we started.
a few things here.
First of all, you have on your Google Drive
Yes, Your Honor.
all of the video that you took.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you currently have it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is there any way that I can see any of it?
Absolutely. I also have another video that shows real estate videography work that I've done for other clients.
I'm not
My
interested.
level.
I'm not interested in that.
You should also be able to see on the Google Drive who has access to it.
Oh.
I removed the access when this case came up because I didn't want, at this point, I don't trust the plaintiff. So I removed her access so that she couldn't go and delete the videos and try to claim that she never had access.
To them. Got it.
Let me see.
Give the phone to Sarah, please, Kevin.
There it is, flip videos. That's all the different files with all of the different videos. And there may be something that you can push in there to see when people had access at one point, because I had access for herself as well as her son. And she has prior uploaded videos into there herself.
There's more than 30 videos in here, and
Those are just
I
files.
see the two little people on Google Drive, which usually indicates that it's shared with more than one person.
Is it currently shared with anybody other than the defendant? He said he took her off the shared access.
Rosa Brooks does have access to all of the videos.
She does.
Your Honor, can I explain why he set up that folder? Because I also took video myself to upload onto that. He showed me how to do that.
He told me that you also did, but he said that this file also includes the video footage that he took.
Yes, but it was never edited, so I can do voiceovers.
Just a second. I asked you a specific question, Ms. Brooks. I said, did you ever see any of the video that he took? Your answer was no.
No.
Correct?
Correct.
Well, the fact that you didn't look at it, I don't believe. I find no validity to why, if you had it and you were coming to court today and you were dissatisfied, why you wouldn't look at it. You had your son have access to it, and I don't know how old your son is, who took the end video. I'm going to look at some of it, but it's clear to me that Mr. Maney performed a substantial amount of work for you. Clearly, $1,900 worth of work. Clearly. So what happened at the end that caused you to have your son do an end look at what the place looked like? I don't know why, but Mr. Maney said that he has an email from you that I'm going to look at now. That would sort of be dispositive of what happened at the end run of this case. Well, Sarah, could you give me just one look at his?
Sure. So he has all of these different files for different sections of the home, driveway, fireplace, and if you click on them, these are all of the videos taken for flooring. And if you click on this, it's a video of them doing flooring, and you can see who has access to the clips, her son,
Jeffrey
the
and
plaintiff,
Rosa.
and the owner is the defendant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
And there's probably over 50 videos in the file.
So that you and your son had access to these videos over an extended period of time. fact that you didn't look at it, that's not my problem.
Your Honor, my son did that video late at the end, towards the end of
what I'm telling you is you had access to these videos.
Well,
at first
I did.
you told me you didn't have access, that you never saw them. Then they were available to you and your son to be able to look at them. You say you never looked at them. I actually find that unbelievable, Ms. Brooks.
Honor,
I find it unbelievable that you had them and you didn't look at them.
I didn't feel it was a need to look at them, Your Honor. I was anticipating going up to Mr. Manny's office, so once he edited, I could do the voiceovers on them.
Okay.
There was no real
Ms. Brooks,
purpose.
I don't believe that you didn't look at them, madam. This was a $200,000 investment that you made, and this was a project. The first time that your business had done it, I don't believe that you didn't look at them. How much did you sell the house?
That folder for me to
how much did you
put my videos into.
How much did you? You're trying to talk over me. That's not happening.
I'm not.
You sold the house in what month and year?
The house closed on January 2022.
And what did you sell it for?
$555,000.
So you made $350,000.
No, Your Honor, $270,000 went into the house renovation.
Just a second. You sold it for $350,000 more than you paid for it.
Your Honor, I use hard money, and there's lots of.
Just a second. I know you're arguing with me. You bought it for $200,000. You sold it for $550,000.
Yes.
My math is not great, but that's a difference of $350,000. That's all I said to you. I said you bought it for $200,000. You sold it, and the difference between the purchase price and the sale price was $350,000.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
So even if you made, in those few short months, $150,000, you didn't do the physical labor on the house. You had workmen do the physical labor on the house.
I did some of it, Your Honor.
Well, you made a handsome profit. I want you to tell me what you think his work is worth.
Rosa Brooks has accused videographer Garrett Manny of not completing her home renovation video.
Now, you sold it in January of 2022.
That's correct.
That's when it closed.
Yes.
When did it go into contract?
Early in the project, Your Honor. It was pretty much the third month after I purchased it. So I purchased it in March. It was under contract around July of 2020.
Well, there was a lot of back and forth and a little bit of cancellation on your part back in December. You needed a little wiggle room. Looks like Monday would be a better day. First it was Friday. So there was lots of back and forth on the endgame video.
Yes, Your Honor. And he
also what?
He also canceled as well. He has to.
Well, that's all right, but
Yeah, back and forth. We both had cancellations. And
I understand that, but this was for the final piece, which is what you're complaining about, the final piece.
Your Honor, he was not responding to me at some point when I tried to contact him to get the opportunity to go to his office to give him the rest of the footage that he needed, that he requested, that he was difficult about because I wasn't able to forward it to him in the format that he needed it for. I offered to come up to his office so that he can, transfer from my phone.
I'm going to ask you a question, Ms. Brooks. I just want to see what I'm dealing with.
Yes.
How many files of video did he have?
Oh, I can't tell.
You told me 30?
There's at least 30.
I had tons of video myself in there that I uploaded that he taught me how to put into those folders. A lot of those videos are my videos that he didn't take.
I don't care. It was on the same thing that you could have looked at and told me that you didn't, which I don't believe. So I want you to understand that. He was involved. There were 30 files. I want you to tell me, how much do you think that on a time basis Mr. Maney is entitled to? You paid him $1,919. He did clearly countless of hours of videoing your project. At the end, it turned south, and the videos were available to you. I want you to give me a figure of what you think is fair. Fair.
I don't have a figure that I think is fair because, first of all, he spent 10 minutes on each visit, first of all, to do his filming.
Where does he live?
Second, he lives like the next town over from me.
Just a second, so he has to get there.
Yeah.
I want you to think, Ms. Brooks, I want you to think of what you personally did to make a profit of $350,000.
Your Honor, I didn't profit that amount.
I'm telling you, that's the difference. You may have spent money in renovating the property, but that's the difference between what you purchased it for and what you sold it for, $350,000. So the sweat of your brow, your work ethic is worth something. So even if you made in those few short months $150,000, you didn't do the physical labor on the house. You had workmen do the physical labor on the house.
I did some of it, Your Honor.
Well, maybe, but you made a handsome profit. I want you to tell me what you think Mr. Maney's work was worth to you, because I'm telling you right now, I am viewing this case as if you and your son had access to 3/4 of the finished product. So I want you to tell me what you think his work is worth.
Your Honor, it's worthless to me that I didn't get the video.
Okay.
I had a website that I needed the video for once the job was completed.
Well, that's unfortunate. You should have had your son do it. Since you can't give me a figure, I'm dismissing your case. We're done. Thank you.
Court is adjourned.
First of all, I paid him for something that I never got anything for.
They had access to the files the whole time.
And as far as him saying he uploaded some videos,
The only reason I wasn't able to get the final video
yes, they were uploaded, but I never got a chance to really review them.
is because she canceled on me like 12 hours before we were supposed to do it.
I was not anticipating on reviewing anything that was not edited.
It was her lack of put together a commitment.
Not to pay for anything up front until the project is finished.
You just can't make everybody happy, but
Don't trust anybody.
this is the only client I've ever had that was not happy. That says something.
I love Google Drive. They leave a record. You can see who started the file, who shared the file, who has access to it, who had revoke access. So I could see as soon as I logged in, he was very organized. He had different areas of the house labeled, individual videos of flooring progress, all of those were owned by him, shared with the plaintiff to be able to view them. So I don't understand why people lie about things that are so easily to be fact-checked.
And did it make sense to you that if you had this project going and it was the first time that you were memorializing one of your flipped houses, although she had two before, that it was something that she was interested in?
I know for myself on Google Drive, you get emails when things get uploaded. I would have been checking the second that the video got
It doesn't make sense
uploaded.
that she didn't look at.
No, not at all. There were some videos that she potentially did add to the Google Drive, so I did see some of those.
Well, that's so interesting, because in order to be able to do that, you had to know that. Right. Didn't make sense. Not only didn't it make sense, but she had an end video, and it was clearly from the emails back and forth. She would make a date and then say, you know, her buyers aren't exactly ready. She needs a little more wiggle room. Could you make it this? She made it. Anyway, I found it sort of unbusinesslike. Did not say. Somebody did work, clearly spent hours videotaping for her. So if you didn't get your final video, but 3/4 of it was finished and could easily be edited by anybody, to find the work he did worthless.
I feel like it was a little bit of buyer's remorse for the video because she was intending to use this video to maybe attempt to sell it. I presume it was to try and sell the home or her business as a flipper.
Her business as a flipper.
I feel like she found the buyer for the house and said, man, the video's not really worth anything to me anymore, and just didn't want to pay him.
She had paid him, she wanted it back.
Xin chào các bạn. Chào các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình nhé. Hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô bé trông rất là nhỏ nhắn và dễ thương ha. Đầu tiên thì các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho mái tóc này nhé. Đức ơi! Đây đây chị Bảo. Ê Hiếu, hôm nay mày không đi sửa xe à? Rồi mai vẫn phải đưa hả? What the hell? Chị bảo là mẹ có nhà không? Có không đã? Đây. Xin mẹ đồng 100 ra mua rồi. không lõi 75k bà bán cho
xanh.
màu xanh dương ấy. Cái này bác người ta bán cho mình loại này thôi. Mua hộ chị cái chị đi. Bây giờ mình sẽ tô màu cho những cái chi tiết ở trên chiếc váy này nha. Ta không ai là sai. Nghe chả gì động viên. Tụi mình cần hài lòng. Cách lui đầu bước đi. Chỉ là tại nhau đến vậy. Mình xa xa. La. Chiếc váy mình sẽ tô màu xanh nha. Gì hay. Yeah. Được, bây giờ mình sẽ tô lên đôi giày ha. Sit down. Sit down. This nothing. This. Hôm nay thì chúng ta đã cùng nhau tô màu xong cho bức tranh và đây chính là bức tranh của mình nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc. Tạm biệt mọi người. Các bạn ơi, hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh về cô gái xinh xắn này nha. Bây giờ thì chúng mình sẽ bắt tay vào mở gương màu nhé. Đầu tiên là mình sẽ tô màu cho chiếc nơ và chiếc sợi tóc ở trên đầu nhé. mái tóc thì mình sẽ tô màu đen nha. Chiếc váy mình sẽ chọn tô màu hồng nha. Trung chuột, trung chuột. Trung tuột đấy, trung tuột. Mình sẽ tô nốt cái quần tất đây. Người tôi yêu dấu. Với quay lại. Bức tranh của ngày hôm nay đã đi đến bước hoàn thiện và đây chính là thành phẩm để mình đã tô được nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi video của mình đến đây là xin là kết thúc. Xin chào mọi người đã đến với kênh của mình nha. Hôm nay thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô gái đang vẫy tay nha. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô màu cho mái tóc. Ủa? Kỳ vậy? Bây giờ mình sẽ tô đến chiếc váy này. Mình sẽ tô màu tím này. Mình sẽ tô màu chiếc áo nha. Đôi dép thì mình sẽ tô màu tím, màu hồng tím nhé. Trời ơi. Mọi người ơi, mình đã tô màu xanh cho bức tranh rồi đây. Đây chỉ là bức tranh của mình. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi. Hãy ủng hộ mình ở những video tiếp theo nhé. Các bạn ơi, hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho một bức tranh này nha. Đầu tiên thì mình sẽ tô màu cho chiếc sợi tóc này nhé. Dám lấy cây gục xếp. Mái tóc thì mình sẽ tô màu vàng nha. là mình sẽ tô màu trái dâu có trên chiếc váy nhé. Rồi cho tô vô đồ nhé. Chiếc áo thì sẽ chọn màu tím với tông. Như vậy là hôm nay chúng ta đã tô màu xong rồi. Đây chính là thành quả mà mình cùng các bạn đã tô màu. Mình cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi nhé. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc. Hello mọi người. Hôm nay thì mọi người cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh về cô bé dễ thương này nha. Trước tiên thì mái tóc mình sẽ lựa chọn tô màu vàng nhé. Ôi dồi. Bây giờ thì chúng ta sẽ tô màu bằng chiếc yếm này nha. Chiếc áo thì mình sẽ tô màu cam. Cuối cùng là tô màu cho đôi giày màu hồng nha. Ui. Bức tranh của ngày hôm nay đã được mình tô màu và hoàn thiện. Đây chính là thành quả nhé mọi người. Cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình đón xem và theo dõi video này. Xin chào và hẹn gặp lại mọi người nhé. Mình xin chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình nhé. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ cùng các bạn tô màu cho bức tranh về một cậu con trai nha. Đầu tiên thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho mái tóc nhé. Đấy, thịt kìa. Lại con heo. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô đến chiếc áo này nha. Chiếc quần thì mình sẽ tô màu là nâu nhạt. Đôi giày thì mình sẽ lựa chọn màu xanh lá cây. Và như vậy là bức tranh của ngày hôm nay đã đi đến bước hoàn thiện rồi. Đây chính là thành quả mình đã tô được nha. Mình cảm ơn mọi người đã cùng mình theo dõi. Video của mình đến đây là kết thúc. Tạm biệt. Xin chào các bạn, chào mừng các bạn đã đến với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ cùng với nhau tô màu cho bức tranh về một cô gái nha. Đầu tiên thì chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau tô màu cho phần mái tóc nhé. Thì 88 độ. Này bên ngáo à. Độ kiếp má. Bây giờ thì các bạn hãy cùng với mình sẽ tô màu cho chiếc áo nha. Cái gì? theo là chúng ta sẽ tô màu cho chiếc quần nha. Cuối cùng là tô màu cho đôi giày nha. Các bạn ơi, mình đã tô màu xong rồi nha. Đây chỉ là bức tranh mà mình đã tô được. Cảm ơn các bạn đã cùng mình theo dõi. Nếu mà thích series này thì hãy like, share và chia sẻ cho mình nhé. Tạm biệt. Các bạn ơi, hôm nay thì mình sẽ có tô màu cho bức tranh này. Các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh nha. Nhanh phết. Đây thì mình sẽ tô màu nhé. Tô qua hạ bát thế sao? Xin chào mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay thì mình sẽ có tô màu trong bức tranh với nhân vật Capybara. Mọi người hãy cùng mình tô màu cho bức tranh nha. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh nha. Mắc cười vậy. Hải Điên. Ôi, giờ mình sẽ tô về cái cây. Mình xin chào mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Và hôm nay mình sẽ cùng với các bạn tô màu cho bức tranh về chú khỉ đang nhảy múa. Tôi biết lên lúc lên đây là bao nhiêu phút, mấy giờ không? Đừng để nước mắt là màu nhạt sớm. Bây giờ mình cùng các bạn cùng mình tô màu nhá. nay thì mình sẽ tô màu cho quả chanh nha mọi người. Và bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu nhé. Cùng mình theo dõi nha. Bây giờ thì mình sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh nha. Gì? Trong này có thanh gạo lứt này nhưng mà nó bị mềm rồi. Không hiểu sao để nó bây giờ nó bị mềm đấy cả. Hôm nay thì chúng ta sẽ cùng với nhau tô màu cho bức tranh này nha. Các bạn hãy cùng mình đón xem nhá. Đây thì chúng ta sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh nha. Xin chào mọi người, hôm nay thì mọi người sẽ cùng với mình tô màu cho bức tranh về hai cái chai này nha. Có vẻ là nó sẽ là mỹ phẩm đó. Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ tô màu cho bức tranh này. Hôm nay chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục tô màu và đây là bức tranh về những chiếc kẹp tóc nha. Các bạn hãy cùng mình tô màu nha. Để up video. À không, mấy giờ mày ngủ? 10 rưỡi à? Thế thôi, 10 rưỡi tao lấy tao up.
Thôi để rồi đi.
Thôi.
Tôi nhớ là bây giờ quay xong một cóp luôn đi.
Quay xong là 9 giờ 10.
Xong cóp luôn đi. Cóp xong trả em.
Thế lâu lắm. Thế phải 9 giờ 15, 9 giờ 20. Muộn đấy.
Thì tiện thì làm nốt luôn đi. Không trong thời gian làm nốt thì làm nốt đi.
Thì 10 rưỡi mày đi ngủ thì tao làm nốt.
Sao?
Tức là nếu mà mày học thì 10 rưỡi mày đi ngủ đúng không? Thì 10 rưỡi tao lấy tao làm nốt đây.
Làm gì?
Cóp ấy.
Thôi cóp luôn đi, nói thật, cóp đi, xong rồi 10 rưỡi đi ngủ luôn mà mai dậy sớm mà đi. Hiểu không? Người ta tạo điều kiện thế rồi có muốn không? Hay là người ta 9 giờ 10 lên?
Thôi nói chung là cứ 9 giờ 10 mày lên đi. Xong rồi mày học một lúc không phải tính rồi, xong mày lấy luôn là vừa. Mẹ có gì đấy không? Bảo mẹ là mai tao đi học tối về nhá, bảo trước. Mai mà lấy đồ ăn. Hả? Khổ ở đâu? Nó khổ bên bàn mày. Mày đừng mang xuống mẹ tí nữa. Tí nữa lên rồi ăn.
Hôm nay thằng Quý nó qua nhà mình chơi á. Ông bà cưng nó lắm luôn á, làm cho thằng Long bị đì. Em nói nó mốt đừng qua đi chơi nữa nha. Quý Quý qua đây chị. Thì nó nói là nó qua thăm em, bộ em thân với nó lắm hả? Cái gì vậy trời? Con gọt quả táo của con cua này bán. Ông ơi, con gọt táo này ông ăn thử đi không? Thì con cua đấy. Chú ơi, chú ăn thử đi chú. Ăn cho nó thơm miệng. Chú ơi. À dạ. Đây bà ăn thử một miếng táo không? Có cái gì có hấp dẫn hết trơn. Bà hấp dẫn hả bà? Có gì vui hết trơn à? Vậy để con tạo niềm vui cho bà và cả nhà nhé. Không là gì? One, two, three. Có thể người ta làm cho bà buồn, cũng có thể người ta làm cho bà vui. Nhưng mà bà nên nhớ niềm vui thì dễ quên, còn nỗi buồn thì ôi đi rồi. Chúc. Có thể mặt chú đã bị ướt, nhưng có...
Nó bỏ sang một đá.
Xem bóng đá. Giờ này mẹ xem bóng đá. Giờ này bà lại